Welcome to the Explainer. Our past isn't just one single story. It's built in layers, kind of like a cake. Today, we're going to peel back those layers using a sixth grade textbook of all things to see how ancient stones and, these big revolutionary ideas connect directly to the world we're all living in right now. All right, so let's just dive right in. First things first, what is history, really? We throw that word around all the time, but what does it actually mean?
So you might think, is it just a bunch of old stories, myths and legends? Or is it something a little more solid? Well, the material we're digging into today draws a really important line in the sand.
Okay, just take a look at this. On the one hand, you've got a story. Once upon a time, a king fought a battle. Super vague, right? But then you've got history. In 261 BC, King Ashoka fought the Kalinga state. Bam! See the difference? History demands the details. It's all about the who, the where, and the when. Without that stuff, it's just a fairy tale. With it, it's a record of what actually happened. And this brings us to a really cool idea. History isn't just some dusty old book full of facts. Think of it more like society's memory. It works just like your own memory, right? You touch a hot stove once, you remember it, and you don't do it again. Well, history is that for us as a whole society. It's our way of learning from what we did right and what we did wrong, so we can hopefully make better choices moving forward. Okay, so with that in mind, let's zoom way, way out. I'm talking about the very, very beginning of the human story. We're going back to a time before writing, before records, a time we call the prehistoric age. Now, get this. This period makes up something like 99% of all human history. It's absolutely huge. And we break it down into three main stages. And what's really fascinating is how we classify them. It's not based on kings or empires, but on something much more fundamental, the tools our ancestors were making to survive. We've got the Old Stone Age, the Middle, and then the New. And you can literally see that evolution right here. Back in the Old Stone Age or Paleolithic Age, you've got these big, clunky stone tools. Pretty simple stuff. But then you move into the Mesolithic, and suddenly things get smaller, more precise. Think tiny, sharp little points for spears. And by the time we hit the Neolithic Age, you're seeing polished, specialized tools like axes. Every single step here is a massive leap forward in how we thought and what we could do. And these better tools led to what is, without a doubt, the single biggest game changer in human history: agriculture. Think about it. For the first time ever, we didn't have to wander around all day looking for food. We could actually stay in one place, plant crops, build villages, build communities. This, right here, is the foundation for everything that came after. And then, metals. And everything kicked into an even higher gear. We start with simple copper, then figure out how to make stronger bronze for weapons, and then iron for farming. This new tech just supercharged everything. Better plows meant way more food. And when you have a surplus of food, not everyone has to be a farmer. People could become artisans, traders, builders. And that's how you get these massive, complex civilizations like Harappa starting to pop up. So now that we've got these foundations for civilization, let's zoom in on one place where things got, well, honestly, mind-blowing. We're talking about ancient India. They weren't just building incredible cities. They were coming up with ideas that would literally change the course of human history. Take a look at this. It's just a single character, right? 0. It seems so simple. But the idea of 0 as an actual number, as a placeholder, that was a world-changing contribution from ancient India. It completely revolutionized math and paved the way for, well, everything from algebra to the computer or phone you're watching this on right now. And believe me, it didn't stop with math. Just listen to this. You have thinkers like Bodhayana figuring out the principles of the Pythagorean theorem centuries before Pythagoras was even born. You've got the sage Kannada proposing a theory of the atom, the Anu, 27 centuries ago. And Aryabhata stating that the Earth was round and went around the sun over 1,000 years before Copernicus. It's just an absolutely incredible legacy of innovation. And these ideas, they didn't just stay put. Indian philosophy, art, and culture spread far and wide, leaving this incredible legacy. You can literally see it carved in stone in these breathtaking temples. Angkor Wat over in Cambodia and Borobudur in Indonesia. Both are now World Heritage Sites, which tells you just how important they are. All right, so we've been looking at the really big picture, right? From the first stone tools all the way to these world-changing ideas. Now we're going to start zooming in. We're going to see how all of those layers we've been talking about come together in one specific place, the Indian state of Karnataka. So here's a look at what ancient India was like. It wasn't one single unified thing. It was this incredible, vibrant tapestry of different kingdoms, different cultures, all constantly shifting and interacting with each other. And it's out of this really dynamic world that the story of Karnataka begins. Okay, let's fast forward to today. That ancient land is now the modern state of Karnataka. And what's just amazing is that this one state has a recorded history that goes back 2,000 years. For our purposes, just know that it's organized into 4 main administrative divisions. And for our final zoom in, we're going to focus on just one of those divisions as a kind of case study, the Bengaluru division, because right here in this one area, you can see all those layers of history we've been talking about, all stacked on top of each other. This division, which is made up of 9 smaller districts, is like a perfect little microcosm of our entire journey today. Every single layer we've talked about, from the stone tools to those big global ideas, it's all woven together right here. You know, looking at its history is kind of like being a geologist looking at layers of rock. Each powerful dynasty that ruled this area, you've got the Gangas, the Cholas, the incredible Vijayanagara Empire. Each one left its own unique mark, building on top of whatever was there before. And this is where you can really see that transition from past to present so clearly. For a long, long time, the wealth of this region came from deep in the ground, from the famous Kolar goldfields. But today, the wealth comes from ideas, from innovation. The whole world knows this place as the Silicon Plateau, a global hub for tech. You can even see this mix of old and new in the architecture. This incredible building is the Vidhana Soudha, the state legislature. It was built by a man named Kengal Hanumanthaya, who was a really important figure in bringing the state together after independence. So it's a modern symbol, but one that's built on a deep, deep history.
And look, a transformation like that, it doesn't just happen by accident. It takes real vision. It takes people like Sir M. Vishveshwaraya. He was this brilliant engineer and statesman who laid the groundwork, the industrial and educational groundwork decades ago. He basically built the foundation for the tech boom that we see there today.
So what this whole journey really shows us is that history isn't some far-off, abstract thing in a textbook. It's right here. It's all around us, in layers. From the very first stone tools to the satellites flying over our heads right now, the past is always here, shaping our present. And that really just leaves one final question for you to think about. What story is hidden in the streets where you live? What layers of history are just waiting for you to find them right outside your own front door?